Now, live, the king of cuisine, Peter Dills. Another restaurant show, right? No, it's Peter Dills, the king of cuisine.
Indeed, it is Peter Dills, the king of cuisine as well, especially here in Orange County. We've got a really good show this afternoon, 6 o'clock. Unfortunately, the Angels went down to defeat in the 10th inning. Turtle is here, and Selena is getting coffee at Starbucks somewhere that we don't know.
Maybe she's in the parking lot still. I don't know.
Yeah, security.
Let her in.
Hey, it's 100 days of grilling, and we're probably about day 25 or day 30 in 100 days of grilling. We've been doing this since Memorial Day, and we're going all the way until Labor Day, past 4th of July. And we've had some really exciting guests, and today is no exception. In about 10 minutes from now, looks like 9 minutes from now, we are going to have Pat LaFrieda. And he has written, I've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks. Pat wrote a book called Meat. Pat is a fourth-generation butcher, and he's from New Jersey. I've been saying New York a few times, but he's actually from New Jersey.
Jersey.
And he's got some really interesting topics to talk about. We're going to ask him about grilling. We're going to ask him about how he makes his steaks and something to do with the Shake Shack here in Southern California. I'm not sure if he's able to tell us, but he's got his fingers in a lot of different, he's got his fingers on a lot of different grills throughout the country. So even though he's not a local celebrity, I think that you're going to find this interesting. Just reading the book, I've learned so much about something that I have a deep, deep passion about, and that is barbecuing. And it's a great topic to talk about, especially on this station, Angels AM 830 KLAA. If you just tuned in and you're looking for Bruce Cook, I can see him.
He's right there.
He's right there, but he's not going to be on until 7 o'clock.
So, sit tight, tune in.
Sit tight, listen to us, and then stay tuned to Bruce Cook. June 20th, that is today. It is National Vanilla Milkshake Day. The most popular flavor in the world, of course, is vanilla milkshake.
I would think chocolate. I'm a chocolate man myself.
The most still the most popular ice cream is still vanilla. This could have been. These are all true, okay. But I could have switched out Believe It or Nots. 6:30, we're going to do Believe It or Nots, and the Believe It or Nots, because it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I've got 6 things that I'm going to tell you about my father, Elmer Dills, and one of them is false. So Selena and Turtle are going to tell me which is the false one.
Yeah.
So we got a little role reversal going here on AM 830 KLAA.
This is interesting.
Again, friends, if you're just leaving the stadium right now, it is Peter Dills, and this is a food show. So we talk about food for the next hour. The first known printed reference of a milkshake dates back to the 1885. It contained 1 part whiskey for medicinal purposes.
Of course.
So the original milkshake was...
For medicinal reasons?
Was a booze thing. There's Selena. I just
she
saw
just
her
walked in.
Yeah. Now listen to this one. Howard, if you can hear me in there, and Bruce and everybody else, shakes got their name from being served in bars. If the customer enjoyed the specialty drink, he shook hands with the bartender. If not, the bartender wouldn't get a tip. Well, you don't leave a tip anywhere where you go anyway, Charlie.
How dare you, Peter? I leave a nice tip. I'm a good guy, unless the service is bad. We've had this before. And you know, it's funny because I just had this conversation the other day because I am a bartender. I bartend from time to time. And people think that if you over pour somebody, you should get a tip, but I feel
that's how I operate.
Yeah. But the thing is you shouldn't have to over pour to get a good tip. It should be about
a good drink.
Yeah, it should be a good drink and your customer service and you making the customer feel
getting it out to them quickly.
Yeah.
The first diner milkshake were made with mixture of milk, malt, and flavoring, vanilla, chocolate, etc. The malt added the ice cream texture to the drink. The electric blender was invented in 1922 just for the making of a milkshake.
Okay.
Now I did not know that. So let me repeat that again, friends. The electric blender was invented in 1922 just for making a milkshake. Milkshakes are referred as frop. The E is silent. So when I don't know. I'm thinking like frappuccino or okay.
Frappe.
Frappe. In parts of New England, a milkshake is often referred to as just frappe, as the E is silent. Frop, I guess. Frop. In 1948, this date in history, I took this from Dick Clark. 1948, the TV show Toast of the Town premieres on CBS with Ed Sullivan as the host. Turtle, do you remember Ed Sullivan?
You're talking about a spectacular shoe.
And here are the Beatles. And here's a real nice guy. No, I can't even do it. I can do it.
How was mine?
Yours was...
It's passable.
All right, let's look at the lineup for today's show. We've got our birthday celebrations at about 6:30. We're going to play Stump, where we're going to reverse it. We're going to play Stump the Turtle and Selena. We've got 6 things about my dad that we're going to talk about. In about 5 minutes, Selena made her way in. She can, there you go. Okay. You can call Pat. You can get him on the phone. Tell him we're going to have him on in about...
He's going to call in. Because he's calling in. He's calling in from a hard line. I just texted him.
Okay.
I mean, back away back. I have his number. Okay.
Hey, you got a hold of him. I wish I did. But we got some really... You've got the Soup Nazi on deck. We've got a comedian
next week who you saw on Netflix.
Yeah.
And you were raving about.
Oh, he was great.
And then you told me, you're like, man, wouldn't it be great if we could get him on?
David, funny guy David.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he has his, the special on Netflix, and you were raving about it. And we're going to get him on. Of course, we are talking about David A. Arnold.
Yeah. Watch it Netflix, after the show tonight, or after Bruce's show tonight at 8 o'clock. Definitely type in David A. Arnold
on Netflix,
and you will have an hour that you wish you could play over and over again, because the guy is funny. Before we go to break, I've got a review. When's the last time I've done a real restaurant review?
We haven't done one in a while. We both been busy doing our wobbly tables, So
no wobbly tables at this restaurant.
Right.
Well, another reason why I thought it would be fair or not fair, because I haven't really had any great experiences in the last 2 months. Restaurants, if you've been reading the paper, listening to the news, restaurants are having the dickens of time finding employees. Thus, They're just reopening. They're just trying to refigure it out. It's like 100,000 restaurants in California are reopening and trying to get their sea legs, their feet underneath them. So I just gotten away from actually reviewing a restaurant.
How long should we wait to re-review restaurants? Should we wait another year?
No. Meryl Schindler, who you remember from KABC, always used to say, hey, if they're accepting money, they're game for a review. Meaning like, hey, they're charging us 100%.
Right.
So they're game for a review. Taylor Steakhouse in La Cañada. There's one also on 8th Street in Koreatown, which is downtown Los Angeles. Went there last night for my Father's Day. My daughter Lauren and I.
She took you out.
I paid.
So it really took you out, Peter.
Yeah. So we go there, and the restaurant is old school. I don't know how to, if you live in Orange County, I don't know how to compare it to something here in Orange County. It was just old school, red leather booths. We go in, and I know that they have a procedure where they'll take 50% reservations, 50% walk-ins. So that's why, besides having a history with the restaurant itself, that's why we picked it. Steak restaurant, old school. Think about a Manhattan, a martini, a steak. That's Taylor's Steakhouse. Been there since the 40s, been there since the 50s. All right. So ordered they had us sit at the bar, but just not at the bar, but just next to the bar. And
adjacent?
Adjacent to the bar, but not close, just as close as that you and I are sitting here in the studio, 3 or 4 feet away. I think that the hostess noticed that we weren't ordering a drink. So she thought, why did I put them at the bar? That's an old trick in the restaurant business. If you own a restaurant or worked in the business, that's an old trick. Get them to buy a couple drinks at the bar. Everything is about check, upsell. So my daughter and I are just sitting there, and we had no plan to order a drink. So
really?
No, not yet.
I figure you were going to get at least a martini or a Gibson.
Not in front of my daughter. No,
Really?
No,
That's odd.
No, martinis make me crazy. No, I got to behave in front of my daughter.
So do daughters. Daughters make people crazy.
That's true too. So we got to see. She came by, said, "Hey, I got a booth for you." We sat down, got a petite filet, shared it, a Molly salad, which in layman's terms, a Molly salad is just a wedge salad with the blue cheese, bacon, tomato,
good.
onion, yum. The waitress was on top of things. You know how old I am. I felt like besides my daughter, I felt like I was still the youngest person in the place. It was blue hair heaven.
So the people that originally frequented it in 1950
are still there today, or their kids.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
But the steak was good, $44, $45 for petite filet. Again, we shared it. A wedge salad was great.
Did you get any odd views when you say, "Oh, we're gonna split this in half"? Or anything like that?
Our bill was $160. I don't think she had a problem. We kept ordering, and she was upsell queen. She goes, "Would you like any sourdough bread?" Nah, I don't think so.
Is sourdough an upsell?
Yeah, and then I said, "No, I don't think so." She goes, "Well, I'm going to bring it anyway." And she goes, "Well, it comes with a baked potato because you guys are splitting it. Would you like another baked potato?" "No, I think one is enough." "No, I'm going to bring another one anyway." Cream spinach. "Well, okay, my daughter will have the cream spinach." "Well, I'm going to bring you some cream of corn." I mean, she was fantastic, right? Wouldn't you want?
Yeah.
That was like, oh, I said no 5 times. Well, I'm going to bring it to you anyway. We did share a bottle of Schramsberg champagne. Remember, we had the gentleman from Schramsberg on a few months ago, and reasonable price, $52 at a restaurant.
That is reasonable.
Very reasonable, because at a supermarket at Vaughn's it's $34. So usually at restaurants it's double or they double it and add a couple dollars. But no, not even double. The only thing I didn't like was the jumbo shrimp cocktail. On the menu it said prawns. These were maybe large.
They weren't jumbo.
No, they were not jumbo prawns, but they were good. So I'm going to do the Olympic scale, 0 to 10, 10 being best. Everything, time, ambiance, cleanliness of the restaurant, service, everything. I'm going to give it an 8.2.
Okay, real quick. It is Father's Day weekend. Did they offer you anything complimentary because it is Father's Day?
Good point. No.
They need to go down a little bit then.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. But anyway, if you've listened to the show, I never given the 9s. All right, we got music in my ears. That means we got to take a break. But when we come back from the break, Pat LaFrieda is on the phone. He has flown in from New Jersey. No, he hasn't. But, all right, it's Peter Dills. It is the show of the hour, and we're here talking about food. Just welcoming all our Angel fans back.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
When you really want Italian food, you have got to get to Columbo's. Columbo's Italian Steakhouse and Jazz Club, Colorado Boulevard, Eagle Rock. It's that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you. Yes, it's a big, wide, wonderful world we live in, and Columbo's is open and better than ever, if that's even possible. So, you ask your beloveds, what would they like to do, and they say,
Columbo's!
Columbo's? But what about the beach?
Maybe.
The Dodgers?
Okay.
The movies?
Possibly.
So you ask, what tickles your fancy, and they say,
Columbo's!
why, the world's greatest meatballs, absolutely delicious steaks, the freshest catch from the seas, great service, and it's also affordable. Columbo's, considered by many the 9th wonder of the world. Don't deny the little ones and mother. Broaden their horizons at the world-famous Columbo's, that little neighborhood place you wish was down the street from you.
Columbo's Mangia Bene.
You have got to get to Gladstone's, smack dab in the middle of Southern California, in the thriving little hamlet of Long Beach, overlooking the Queen Mary. Gladstone's. Why? Well, seeker of wisdom, truth, and gustatorial delights, the mere fact that you honor the world with your magnificent presence is reason enough to revel with abandon in the freshest and most tantalizing provisions from the fertile plains and the briny deep at Gladstone's. Feed your happy little face mouth-watering laughter from the 7 seas. Clam chowder so delicious George Washington would swim the ocean for. Salmon so scrumptious it might kiss you. Specials every day, and all at a price that won't bust the budget. Yes, I'm talking to you. It's the just reward for you being you. You have got to get to Gladstone's, smack dab in the middle of Southern California, in the thriving little hamlet of Long Beach, overlooking the Queen Mary. Gladstone's.
Hi everybody, it's Peter Dills, happy to bring you this message from T.G. Metzger of State Farm.
Snatching stuff takes... Oh, what is going on in here?
It's okay, relax. Watch this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Dave.
Wow.
Is that your agent?
It's the jingle. Try it.
No.
Like a good neighbor,
Just say it.
State Farm is there.
With a sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And the girl from 4E?
And can I get a hot tub?
Nice.
Find out what else State Farm agents can do for you at yagent.com.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is always there for you. Call your local State Farm rep. His name is T.G. Metzger. His phone number is 626-487-1500. That's T.G. Metzger at 626-487-1500.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
When love is king, when boy meets girl, here's what they say.
When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's amore. It's better when I sing with you. All right, you guys, Peter Dills, 100 Days of Grilling. We are searching throughout the United States, the Americas, anywhere, for the best of the best. And I think I got somebody on the phone right now that's best of the best. Pat LaFrieda, he's calling in from Jersey. Pat, are you there?
Yes, how are you, pal?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you for your patience. Sometimes these baseball games go a little bit overtime.
No, my pleasure. Didn't go our way tonight, I guess.
Yeah, it's probably about 9:15 over there, 9:20. You're probably about ready to hit the sack.
No, it is just time. We just started production at 6 p.m., so we worked throughout the night.
Sunday
through Friday night. Yeah, 6 days a week. We don't freeze anything, so as orders are placed, we actually then process the product at night and ship out the next morning.
Yep, I've had it. So let me just give our listeners a little background on Pat LaFrieda. I didn't, even though I've been doing restaurants and food shows for 13-50 years here in L.A., Orange County, I didn't know who Pat LaFrieda was. And about 2 weeks ago, I am at a friend's house in Pasadena, and he calls me pal. Hey, pal, I've got a book for you because I know you're doing this thing on barbecuing, and the book is called Meat. That's it.
Very complicated title.
Very complicated title, Meat. It could have been called Protein.
Yes.
Right? Okay, anyway, it's called Meat, and I talked about this a few weeks ago, but Pat's on the phone right now, and he wrote the book, and it's more than a coffee book, a coffee table book. It has diagrams. I thought I brought a copy, but I forgot that in the hard drive. But it has diagrams. It has a cow, a lamb, any protein, it's in there. And the amazing part is that Pat's coming out with a new book in September or October. I don't know what you missed in the first book that could possibly be in the second book.
Well, the second book really. So the first book, Meat, everything that one would need to know, is really about that. I mean, if someone were to Google a cut of steak, like you just spoke about petite filet that you ate at the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
There's actually a cut in beef that's called a petite tender, and I wonder if you had a petite tender.
You know what?
Which is it looks like a miniature filet mignon.
No, I screwed up. I had a coulee.
A culotte.
Culotte. I had a culotte. There's only 2 of them per cow. I don't know why I said.
I drink Kool-Aid though.
I don't know why I said filet. I had a culotte. That's what I had. My daughter and I split one, and so that's what I had. I don't know why I said
sirloin. That's sirloin.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to have. So if one were to Google a certain cut of meat, it really usually you just get this like animated diagram pointing to a general area.
Right.
So I really meticulously, staked out exactly where each of these cuts are, and it's a great user-friendly guide as opposed to anything else is really industry-related. And I think the photography is great and
phenomenal
really, education in meat. But the second book is really to debunk a lot of urban legends, and there are so many when it comes to meat, from grass-fed to organic, and just really laying it out there. I mean, really what's what, and there's so much information that the American public does not know about our meat supply, and it's something to be proud of. America makes the best meat, produces the best meat in the world, yet that doesn't mean that you're necessarily getting American product.
You know, the guy that gave me the book also gave me some of your meats. He lives in L.A., and he told me that he probably purchases between $1,000 and $2,000 worth of your meat every month. So he had plenty.
Wow.
He had plenty to give me extra. And Pat, I hope you take this. I hope you take this the right way. He gave me your filet, and he gave me the burger. The filet was phenomenal, but the burger was better. I wouldn't go to a steakhouse and order a burger. I'd order a steak or a filet. But that friggin' burger, I don't know if it was the brisket blend, but it was phenomenal.
Most of our blends have brisket in it as part of the framework. But yeah, our blends will vary in, depending on what flavors of what different cuts you particularly like and what you're aiming to cook.
If you just tuned in, this is Peter Dills, AM 830 KLAA, 100 Days of Grilling. Pat LaFrieda is on the phone. So what I did, Pat, with the burger was the first round when I cooked them, I used a bun. The second one, no bun. Just cooked the burger and ate it without the bun.
And
I loved it. I loved it. I need to get. I'm like, it's like.
It was like a drum roll there for a second.
No. I'm just like, wow. I got to get some more of this stuff. It's great. I mean, it's just we've talked about this on our show forever. We talk about champagne and the best things of life, and it's just like, man, once you had some of this meat, it's incredible. All right, okay.
There are a lot of key things there, though. Not using any trimmings, especially imported trimming, gives us the ability to control the flavor, so we could get a consistent outcome. And that was one of my grandfathers. I mean, I'm in the third generation of our company, and I'm blessed enough that my dad still works with me. He comes in around 2:30 a.m. Eastern Standard, and it's great to. I feel like a bit of security when he gets here. But the way our tradition of making what we call a chopped beef, not ground beef, but we use specific cuts of beef and whole cuts, and it's all raised and grazed in the United States.
I need to ask you about. I want to do a little bit of education. It's Father's Day, and maybe some people are getting ready to finishing up or getting ready, but this is information that we can use all summer long. For your meats, I'm not talking about meats that people buy at the supermarket. I'm talking about your premium meats. And just to prove that I did read the book, you talked about the meats that people should buy should be, you said Angus. The cow or cattle should be under 2 years old, right?
Yes.
Right. If it gets purple, that means it's too old. It's not aged. It's the cow or the cattle was too old. But I want to talk about your opinion about cooking your meat. Pan fried versus grilling. Would you at your house ever use butter, or do you use oil? How do you cook your meats?
So if I'm going to use a cast iron pan in my house, then the same as you're basically creating a plancha. I have a special vent that's on steroids, so it really gets rid of the smoke. Because the last thing you want to do is smoke up your house, right?
Right.
But you could also use if that's a preferred cooking method. There's nothing wrong with doing that on your grill. So
Right.
having a cast iron steel pan on your grill is very common.
Okay.
Because you don't have the negative effect of the reverse flame coming from the barbecue. I particularly love barbecuing. I barbecue probably 52 weeks a year.
Right.
I'm walked out in 2 feet of snow. I make sure my barbecue is always running. But that so if regardless of if you're barbecuing or if you're on a skillet, a cast iron pan, no butter, no oil. It doesn't need it.
Okay.
And
right. Scratch that out.
No matter if you want your meat well done or if you want your meat rare, you're going to make the outside seared. You're going to sear the outside. So that means you have to get the temperature up to around 500 degrees or higher, and before you put your meat on. If you put it on before, when you feel that the proteins have released itself from the cooking surface,
right.
That's how you know that it's ready to flip. And the same on the second time. But then, if you wanted it well done, then you could raise it up in the rack or put it in the oven to finish. I was just speaking live on Friday to a dear friend, Joe Piscopo, on his radio show, and he told me how much he liked well-done fillets. And I told him that was a felony in the state of New Jersey to cook a well-done fillet.
Well, yeah. In Chicago, it's a felony to put ketchup on a hot dog.
Oh, yeah, my dad would say the same. My dad's very anti that. I always had to hide that from him. But, so the reason that I think it's a big mistake. The last thing you want to do is make any kind of protein steamed, right? What we're looking to do is not have the high school cafeteria experience, even with burgers or with steaks. We really want that sear, that real crisp Maillard reaction, which happens on the exterior from the reduction of sugars. It's kind of a boring reason, but when you get a sear, not a burn, then that really brings a huge amount of flavor. And one tip to everyone out there is, no seasoning with pepper when you're working at high temperatures.
Wait a minute. No, you hear that, Turtle? No seasoning with pepper. Okay.
I love seasoning.
But hold on. So we got to take a break. But I think that's a tease to come back from the break, because I got to find out why there's no seasoning with pepper on a high flame or high temperature on the steak. It's Peter Dills. We're talking to Pat LaFrieda. This portion of our show is brought to you by Longo Lexus. Longo Lexus in El Monte.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Hey everybody, it's Peter Dills for Sapporo Beer. It's the #1 selling Asian beer in the United States. It's contemporary, it's stylish, it's food friendly, and it's legendary. Sapporo stands out from the crowd. Since its creation in 1876, Sapporo has been crafted using only the finest ingredients. Sapporo maintains its rich brewing tradition and historical taste profile, which were first modeled after the Bavarian purity law. I love it. When it's warm outside, there's nothing better than a cold Sapporo.
You have got to get to Gladstone's, smack dab in the middle of Southern California in the thriving little hamlet of Long Beach overlooking the Queen Mary. Gladstone's. Why? Well, seeker of wisdom, truth, and gustatorial delights, the mere fact that you honor the world with your magnificent presence is reason enough to revel with abandon in the freshest and most tantalizing provisions from the fertile plains and the briny deep at Gladstone's. Feed your happy little face, mouth-watering lobster from the 7 seas, clam chowder so delicious George Washington would swim the ocean for, salmon so scrumptious it might kiss you, specials every day, and all at a price that won't bust the budget. Yes, I'm talking to you. It's the just reward for you being you. You have got to get to Gladstone's, smack dab in the middle of Southern California in the thriving little hamlet of Long Beach overlooking the Queen Mary. Gladstone's.
It's Peter Dills, and if you like great Mai Tais and a wide range of Hawaiian-inspired food, then I need to tell you about one of my favorite restaurants. It's the Canoe House on Fair Oaks in South Pasadena. Great happy hour and some of the best Mai Tais that I've ever had. The Canoe House is fun, it's exotic. The food ranges from burgers and onion rings to ahi salad with weekly cold beer specials, and that Mai Tai that I was telling you about, you can get it at happy hour each and every Monday. Every night is something different. The Canoe House in South Pasadena is a great place for any night of the week, and it's only a short drive from wherever you're listening to our show.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Blame it on the blues, got you feeling loose. Blame it on the throne, got you in the zone. Blame it on the alcohol. Blame it on the.
I think that's Jamie Foxx. I think. I do. You know, that was kind of apropos, the Canoe House.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Mai Tais, because there's like these Mai Tais going around now. There's one called On the Rocks, which I thoroughly enjoy. And then there's Cutwater. They do their own Mai Tai. And then there's one from Trader Vic's.
Right, in the can. That's not from Trader Joe's, by the way.
No, I know. It's from Trader Vic's.
Yeah, it's searching all everywhere.
It's less, I know. It's less in alcohol than the other ones. And to be fair, I think, when we were trying them before, that maybe I put too much shaved ice in there. I don't know.
Perhaps.
Anyway, all right. Anyway, we're talking to Pat LaFrieda. He is calling us from New Jersey. And I've read or thumbed through, read a lot of stuff in his book, Meat. And he's on the air with us. Pat, remind me what the next book is going to be called. Or the next chapter of your trilogy. What do you call it when it's a book?
Series?
Series.
Yeah.
What's the next?
Well, it's not so much a series, but it is going to be called Glorious Beef, and it really has to do with bringing beef back to its glory. There was a time when eating beef was a celebration,
right?
And there's just so many negative stigmas that are associated with beef. And that's why debunking a lot of the urban legends and a lot of the mistruths and the marketing behind behind beef is something that I really wanted to tackle and just be honest. I think that we all know where our clothing is made from, right? I mean, it has tags on it to tell us, but meat loses its identity. Why is that? We consume it. I mean, we should know where it's from. We should know. There should be traceability. And we should know that grass-fed beef is terrible for the environment. We should know
because the cows are the cows are. I mean, I got to use the word because the cows are farting. Is that why? Or
no, methane. You mentioned a great point when you said that the beef that we eat should be about 24 months of age.
Right.
Where grass-fed beef, in order to get to the same weight, it takes about 3 times the amount of lifetime for beef to get that large. So,
and those cows, that meat doesn't taste very good anyway.
No, I am not against the sale of grass-fed beef. I was one of the first to bring it to New York City. Yet because I've publicly said I'm not a fan of it myself. I've kind of been like the nemesis of grass-fed beef in a way, but I'm not. In reality, I think to enjoy a meal, one really needs to feel comfortable in what they're eating. I just want the truth to be told, just because about 20 years ago, a retail store, a chain of retail stores thought that it was a great messaging and it would be a niche, does not mean that it's true. And grass-fed, like I was saying, grass-fed beef. You won't hear that message anymore because I've been quite public about it.
I don't know back in New York or New Jersey if they have Mastro's out there, but I think that Mastro's is.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And they tried the grass-fed thing for a while, and I didn't get it.
There's not much flavor in it. It's quite frankly, it's a little bitter. But again, there's a market for everything, and if grass-fed beef is something that if you're anti-corn, I don't know why you'd be, but if you were anti-corn,
Yeah.
Well, I guess grass-fed beef is for you.
It's Peter Dills. We're talking to Pat LaFrieda. It's AM 830 KLAA. We're here each and every Sunday after the Angel game. I didn't say it would be 5 o'clock. I said after the Angel game, right, Turtle?
Yeah, the Angels have been playing hard these past Sundays. I don't know what it is, but they've been...
Well, because they know that we're here.
Yeah.
And so they've won three out of 4. And the deal is that if you missed any portion of the show, our social media is on fire. We have the podcast, and we'll have that up and running. If you missed any of Pat's interview tonight, it is on the podcast. What is the podcast? It's the only purple icon or app on your smartphone.
Everyone has it on their iPhone.
Everybody does. All you do is subscribe to Peter Dills, and you can hear great interviews like Pat LaFrieda. Okay, Pat. So,
by the way, that's a really smart little attribute there about being the only purple icon on the phone.
And so people get confused. Now, how do I listen to the show again? So, Pat, back in my day, I worked at, and there's no way that you'll know this one, but back about 30 years ago, there was a chain of grocery stores in California called Jurgensen's Grocery Store. And all we served were prime Eastern fed, whatever, cows. They were actually butcher shops. And I've been dying since I discovered you, or for myself here in LA, Orange County. I wanted to ask you, do you feel that there is a resurgence in the butcher, or do you think it's a dying art?
Well, there was a resurgence about 5 years ago. There was even a TV show recently called Butcher, in which I flew out to Burbank to film an episode.
Darn.
But it's not. Many ask me, Pat, how does it feel to be a celebrity butcher? A celebrity butcher. I'm on the roof sometimes filming, and far from a possible leak to.
Right.
I mean, I worked Saturday night. I worked last night. I had some customers placed orders. They kind of got botched the way they were entered. They were entered into delivered next week. I came in by myself, cut meat, and delivered it. And it's a hard job. So, yeah, I mean, butchering sounds great, but there are a few problems. There are no colleges or further education establishments that really teach butchering. It's something that you need to intern for, and it's not safe. It's dangerous. So imagine, one butcher's trying to train another one who's an intern. There's really not much motivation there for someone to do that, other than inexpensive labor, I guess. But it's not worth it. Getting hurt while working is probably one of the worst feelings that you could possibly have, and there is a big safety issue. So, and then when you're done cutting all the meat, after that,
there's more meat to be cut.
Well, no, what are you going to do with it? So
sell it. Send it to Pasadena. Send it to Orange County. Hey,
if you were a facility like mine and we had the demand for it, then it's easier.
Pat LaFrieda is the country's most famous meat purveyor, known for supplying restaurants such as Shake Shack. We've got Shake Shacks here in San Diego. Tell us about. Can you tell us about your relationship? We've got about a minute and 10 seconds left.
No pressure.
Sure.
No pressure.
Shake Shack was a hot dog stand in the park in Madison Park in Manhattan. I was asked to come down and help consult on how to make a burger there. We tweaked a few blends, and the rest is really history. And they've had a line from shortly after that until going public. I mean, Danny Meyer is one. He's the owner of the entity, and he really knows the hospitality business and how this is a repetitive business, but each repetitive meal needs to be amazing.
All right, that's Pat LaFrieda. We got another cookbook coming out for all of our listeners listening here in LA and Orange County. How can they learn more about Pat LaFrieda?
Lafrida.com is our email, our website, and everything that you could possibly want to know about us is on there.
And like we said, we promise everything will be. This whole interview will be on Spotify podcast, and people can listen to it again. Pat LaFrieda, thank you for checking in, and thank you for staying up late with us.
No, again, this is my morning.
Pat LaFrieda, thank you so much.
Thank
All right,
you
guys.
for having me.
Well, we're going to take a break. We're going to take a break, and we're going to do a 1 hour show in about 12 minutes. So buckle your seatbelts. It's Peter Dills, brought to you by Surface Culinary District, location for chefs, cooks alike, located on Washington in L.A.
Cheeseburger in paradise. Heard about the old time.
Angels Radio.
AM 830.
Hi, I'm Chappie.
And Seminar Skip here.
Join us along with Bandstand Hal every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 for the Morning Line Sports Show on AM 830 KLAA.
We talk baseball, football, hockey, and more, but concentrate on the sport of kings, horse racing.
Each week we have insights from top industry experts. So join our cast of characters on the Morning Line Sports Show every Saturday morning from 8 to 9 on AM 830 KLAA.
Or catch us on Facebook Live on TML AM 830.
You have got to get to Gladstone's, smack dab in the middle of Southern California, in the thriving little hamlet of Long Beach, overlooking the Queen Mary. Gladstone's. Why? Well, seeker of wisdom, truth, and gustatorial delights, the mere fact that you honor the world with your magnificent presence is reason enough to revel with abandon in the freshest and most tantalizing provisions from the fertile plains and the briny deep at Gladstone's. Feed your happy little face mouth-watering laughter from the seven seas. Clam chowder so delicious George Washington would swim the ocean for. Salmon so scrumptious it might kiss you. Specials every day, and all at a price that won't bust the budget. Yes, I'm talking to you. It's the just reward for you being you. You have got to get to Gladstone's, smack dab in the middle of Southern California, in the thriving little hamlet of Long Beach, overlooking the Queen Mary. Gladstone's.
Hi, everybody. It's Peter Dills, happy to bring you this message from T.G. Metzger of State Farm.
Snatching stuff take. Oh, what is going on in here?
It's okay, relax. Watch this. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Hey, Dave.
Wow.
Is that your agent?
It's the jingle. Try it.
No.
Like a good neighbor.
Just say it.
State Farm is there.
With a sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And the girl from 4E?
And can I get a hot tub?
Nice.
Find out what else State Farm agents can do for you at yagent.com.
And like a good neighbor, State Farm is always there for you. Call your local State Farm rep. His name is T.G. Metzger. His phone number is 626-487-1500. That's T.G. Metzger at 626-487-1500.
I forgot to ask Pat about the seasoning. Why we don't use pepper seasoning on a hot grill? Dang it!
Because the seasoning will fall through the grill.
Oh, okay.
Clearly.
Thank you. That's why we don't use pepper to. All right, I'm gonna make steaks tomorrow night or Tuesday, and I'm not gonna use any pepper. And for 35 years I've used pepper on my steaks, but I guess I'm not gonna use them anymore.
Go with the pros.
Go with the pros. That's why you're listening to the show here on AM 830 KLAA every Sunday night, right after the Angel game. Go Halos! It is time, friends. Well, no, this portion of the show is brought to you by Jim over at Huntington Meats. It's phenomenal. You know, Pat LaFrieda has his meats. If you're in the LA, Orange County area, drive over to Huntington Meats. Turtle, you've had his fillets, steaks, the porterhouse, veal. He's one of the only places in Southern California where you can actually find game.
Yes.
So head on over to the farmer's market. It's called Huntington Meats, and he's a good friend of ours. And don't be cheap. Buy some good steaks. All right, it is that time for...
Did someone say birthday? All right, you ready?
I'm ready.
Because it's your birthday!
Well, because you sing so loudly.
We're going to celebrate!
I only have 2 birthday wishes because I didn't want to hear you prolong this whole thing.
Take it away, Peter. Whose birthday is
Chrissy
it?
Elblin. Hi, Chrissy. Chrissy's birthday today. And Smoking Ribs, Kenny Bolsa-Tran. Kenny Bolsa-Tran, it's his birthday, and he's got this smoking ribs. So it's perfect. 100 Days of Grilling right here on AM 830 KLAA. Who are you working on for guests for the next couple weeks?
Next couple weeks, we got that comedian from the
David,
Netflix.
yeah.
And then we got the Soup Nazi.
What's his real name?
Larry Thomas.
All right.
So we got those two guys that are going to be calling in, and someone special too. So I can't say just yet that I'm working because we're still in the talks.
It's still Father's Day. You can go out and get your dad a bottle of Tattinger champagne or a 6-pack of Sapporo. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there, and God bless my dad. He would have been. It's fun because my dad's birthday is right now. He was a Gemini, so some years it was his birthday and it was Father's Day on the same day.
Did you get him 2 presents, or were
no,
you
I didn't
one
get
of
him
those
anything.
one?
I played the same thing as my daughter played on me last night.
You let him take you out?
Yeah, he would pay. We had a lot of money. I don't have any money.
But you're a big radio star.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
huge radio star here on AM 830 KLAA. It's Peter Dills. We're here each and every Sunday after the game. And Bruce Cook is coming up at about 7:02, 7:03, probably after the station ID. Bruce will be talking about what Bruce talks about. All right.
Special Father's Day, believe it or not.
Oh, Father's Day, believe it or not. You want to do that right now?
Yeah,
All right,
we brought Selena in.
We brought Selena in.
To help.
Oh, you can't look at mine. Oh, no, you're on that side this time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because usually it's Selena.
And myself against you.
Yeah.
Right. So this time
Can they see you?
All right, these are believe it or nots. All right? So these are about Father's Day. My dad was Elmer Dills. All right, you guys ready? I got 5, and one of them is false. You ready? All right. Here we go. In Germany, the gates between East and West Germany, they were called Checkpoint Charlie. That's one.
After your dad?
No, I'm just saying.
Wait.
Just hold on.
All right.
Elmer was an operative for the FBI. 3.
No way.
Elmer lived in Berlin for 6 years. Elmer Dills was credited for the popularity of the Panda Inn that thus turned to Panda Expresses.
The Panda Inn that you go to?
Yes. I was born in Athens, Greece. There's 5.
Okay, one of these is false.
One of these is false.
Okay, I'm going to go with there's no way your dad was an operative for the CIA. That has to be... But wait. Let's hold on. What do you think, Selena?
First one.
Which one? Well, the first one, which was...
Is Germany, the gates between East and West Germany was called Checkpoint Charlie.
Okay, let's
Okay, fine.
Anybody in the next room old enough to
room?
remember? Bruce probably knows. Okay, Bruce is like, yeah, I know.
No.
So these guys are in their 30s and 40s. Okay, come on. We got time is money here. Let's go. It's Peter Dills, AM 830. We're actually live, so we're also live on Facebook.
Okay, so let's see.
That wasn't right.
I doubt your dad was. I mean, your dad was a food critic.
Okay.
How could he be a CIA operative? That has to be false.
Okay. Selena?
Okay, yeah, the same one.
Yeah? Okay.
No way your dad was CIA operative.
In Germany, the gates between East and West were it was called Checkpoint Charlie. Elmer Dills lived in Berlin for 6 years. That is true. Elmer was credited for the popularity of Panda Inn. The first Panda Inn was in Pasadena. He put it on TV, and as they say, the rest is history. Oh, wow. And yes, I was born in Athens, Greece. And yes, no, I said FBI. My dad was a secret operative for the CIA. That was his career. So you were.
So you were right,
but you said CIA.
But
you changed it to CIA. I said FBI.
So either way, I was right because I guessed the right one. But no way, your dad really was?
Yeah. Look
what
it up.
A cover.
Google it right now.
What a cover. I never that's a movie, Peter. We could sell this to the Netflix.
I'm in negotiations as we speak right now.
That's a really cool.
Actually, it's funny because Jim from Huntington Meats is best friends with Nancy Silverton, big chef in Santa Monica, and her husband writes for the food section for the LA Times, and he's trying to get him to do a story on this. But anything that's on, if they did a story on this, we'd need to embellish it just a little bit, just to make it a little bit more sexier than it really is.
I mean, did your dad dress like all in black?
No,
and did he do like
but you're too young to remember these names. Chuck Connors. Chuck Connors helped him out. He was the rifleman.
No
TV.
way.
Sebastian Cabot was on Family Affair. Steve McQueen. These are all people that we're doing a little side action for the CIA.
That's cool.
Yeah, we'd have generals coming over to the house and all this stuff. Is my
With
briefcases? Is my Longo Lexus car going to be safe? I feel like I've given out all the secrets. Now I'm going to go outside and my car's going to explode in the parking lot.
That's really cool, Peter. Did you
I have,
partake
just so you
in
guys,
any secret operative stuff?
I met Chuck Connors.
Okay.
I met Steve McQueen. I met Sebastian Cabot. I don't know. There's a bunch of them.
That's cool. Great Father's Day.
Yeah, happy Vanilla Milkshake Day. If you've got your favorite barbecue places, we're open for business. You can log on to our website, which is basically diningwithdills.com, and there's a little button that says contact us. All right, I talked about Taylor's Steakhouse. I gave it an 8.2. You said that was too score of a high of a score because
it was Father's Day. They didn't even offer you anything.
Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah. Why didn't they say? Because she was so busy, like with the bread and the corned, the spinach. Why didn't she say, "Do you want some dessert?" And then I would have said no, because my daughter and I really don't order dessert. And then she could have said, "It's on the house because it's Father's Day."
That could have happened.
Yeah, it could have happened, but it didn't happen.
Down a score.
All right. So we talked about the Mai Tai. I think you haven't tried it yet, but I think we should maybe try it without the ice. You think it was too wishy?
It was too little watered down.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, in fairness to them. But no, this is not, we are a fair show, but it is a show. One thing I want to talk about, and I put this on Facebook, and I think this is really important, and this is why we needed a couple more minutes tonight. But we are open for business because we weren't really pursuing restaurants to partake and advertise on the show. But I've been out and about, and I think that restaurants are ready, and I have no problem with, it's a paid thing, but I have no problem with starting to accept restaurants to participate, advertising, come in to the show, giving away gift cards and things like that. We keep it, the show is primarily, I try to make the show somewhat that non-geographical, meaning if you were listening in Texas, you'd enjoy the show. That's what we try to do. But we're going to pursue that. I think we've got a sales guy coming in, and we'll get Selena out there, at least to get some gift cards going.
Halo Hotties.
They're all listening to the show.
Right.
The Halo Hotties, and we got one in our studio.
There's one right there.
Right now. All right, wait a minute. We started at 6:04, and now we're ending. I got to talk to Howard in the other room about
like,
this
hey,
right
Howard.
there. He's staring at me right now.
It's Father's Day.
It's Father's Day. Bruce Cook is coming up next. All right. So, yeah, we've got the soup. Wow.
That's going to wrap it up.
That's going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for listening to the show. No, just kidding. Bruce Cook is coming up next. And if you missed any portion of the show, remember, the podcast will be up and running tonight or tomorrow. And as always, do I have a food for thought? Food for thought. Who are you becoming is more important than who you have been. Thank you for listening to the show, everybody.
Opinions expressed are those of the program sponsors and